Paul Cooke, ultimately a resounding win in the end, but had to work hard for it. Can you give us your thoughts on your side's performance?
Yeah, good. I thought we was good today. And for you won't realise how tough the week's been in terms of the travel back from Toulouse, and then the review was a really tough one for the players, over an hour. Thursday we then get to the last block of the session, and Ryan Hampshire just tweaks his groin a little bit, so he doesn't train Thursday, the rest of the Thursday session or Friday. And I get a phone call off Ben Reynolds yesterday morning that's got a swollen knee. So we had a real challenge today. We didn't know the team till 10-3. I thought first half for 20 minutes we was at our best in terms of a 9 out of 10 completion rate. Then we only had 8 sets for the last 20 minutes and completed 4. And basically that was a message at half time. I'm quite often can be aggressive with the players at the break, but we was really calm. The staff, they kept me calm, we kept each other calm. Couldn't say enough for Jed and Ian and their involvement in half time as well. We was really calm, and we just fixed up a couple of things on in terms of carry and change of angles a little bit for us, which I thought worked well for a second half. It would turn 3-man tackles into 2-man tackles, and then we got a bit of a roll on, and once we got in front, I don't think we looked back. So I thought the second half was as good as we've been. Special mention on Connor Wynn for the try saver where we were 10 in front. That's a huge play for us. And then the kick from Rocky for Caleb's try. That's delightful for me. I clap my hands at that. So I can't say enough about the boys and the character of them today. We've got a couple of players in Robson Stevens and Callum Turner, who was 19th and 20th men who warmed up in case we lost Ben and Rocky both. Callum goes in, Danny Addy moves, so we had lots of permutations. So I was a bit like a cat on a notch-in roof, if I'm honest, before kick-off, because we didn't know the team till 10-3. So I think that's a huge effort from us against a really good team who are fit and never go away. Mike does a terrific job with them, terrific job.
You're just saying there about, you've touched about building the foundations and having players racing the clock to be fit, but for them to come out and combine together, especially in the second half the way they did, what does that say about the resilience you're building in your squad?
Yeah, that's what I just said to the players afterwards. I'm proud of their efforts today. Special mention to the 2 players in Callum and Robson. Robson only found out at 8 o'clock this morning he was coming to train and to warm up and wasn't training. Callum was ready to play from Thursday night, so Josh Hardcastle was ready to go into the team. So I can't say enough about how much it's been a real squad effort. Off the back of that, I thought the quality we showed. I thought we showed some real quality. The try we scored first half's really well worked. We've built pressure. We've made them make errors, and we've got over the top of them. I thought there was a couple of sloppy ones. The sloppy one just before half time. Players hold their hands up to it. We've got a group that's accountable and responsible, and they're ready to play again next week. And then we've got a bit of time off after that. So it's a huge week for the club. I know I'm glossing over it a little bit now, but I can't think more about next week now. I can't get onto next week quick enough because it's imperative we get a result again, and then we move into a break, a weekend off.
You touched on it already in the sense that you felt like you'd built good foundations from the very start of the game. You probably missed a couple of chances to score some more points in the first half and went in behind. But how confident were you, as you mentioned, you've already touched on it, how confident were you that tweak a few things and you'd get things right like you did?
Yeah, really confident, because when you're running down the hill here, you get a few more standing tackles, and I thought we managed them really well. We've got some big boys in there in Bionic and Stock and Sadiq Adibi. We know when we're running up the hill, we've got to manage a team. Last time we played them here, we was 10-6 up. This time we're 12-4 down, and I was really confident at half time if we got off the back fence that we'd be able to put dents in them like they did us. And we did that. I thought we did that from set 1, and we score off it. Caleb again, on their right edge, who have all sorts of trouble on our right edge, their left edge. So we scored some nice tries as well. I'm really pleased for the players. They've got a result. They're busted in there a little bit, so we'll recover again on Tuesday at the pool and stay off feet, and we'll look after the players. But they know that this week's so important to the club. We're in top 5 now, and we need to remain in there, and that only comes with winning games. So we'll quickly draw a line under this one. I know that sounds stupid because we played so well. We'll show some positives more than negatives, I guess, and we'll move on to next week, because next week's far more important than this one now.
And you just mentioned it there, you've moved into the top 5 now. It's obviously a log jam with you and a few other clubs for those last few playoff spots, but since you've sort of taken over, 8 wins in your last 10 league games now, you obviously won't look at that too much in the bigger picture, but how much does that show of the way that the mentality's changed and ultimately the players are starting to get rewards of it on the field with those competition points?
It does, because where we've come from has been a long way. And I said this last week when we lost at Toulouse. I'm not interested in where we've been. I'm interested in where we're going. You say it's a log jam for them last 2 playoff places. Well, we're aiming higher than that. So we want to go higher than that, and that's what the club's about, and that's what we're about. We've got next week's result to get away at Batley, and it's a huge week for us. They've played Doncaster today and lost. We've seen that result, and they've lost heavily, so they're going to come out firing. Particularly difficult to beat at home. So we'll be on. The players will make sure, and we make sure as a staff that we're on. And we know we're going to be in for a really tough one next week, but it's imperative we go there, put our best foot forward, play aggressive, play smart, and get a 2-point result for us. We need to get out of there with 2 points, stay in 5th position, and then we come back. We go back away to Doncaster after a weekend off. So we've got some games with teams in and around us where we can put daylight between us if we're good, and that's most important, what we can control.
And just lastly, so Jimmy Beckett. Don't think he came back out for the second half. Was there an injury there, and is there any sort of other injury updates, and will you get any players back potentially?
We get Bailey O'Connor back next week, so Bailey will be back into contention. He was close this week. We put him in the squad. We watched him train, and he's trained tremendously well. We get a couple more back after that. Jordan Williams comes back after the break against Doncaster. If we'd have had a game after Batley and in between Batley and Doncaster, he would have played in that one, because he's due back that weekend. But as far as Jimmy goes, he's got a bang on his knee. He got one early, and we thought we could look after him. King got a sting on his neck. It's a little bit of a niggle for him. Again, it's a reason why we're going to the pool and looking after the players on Tuesday. We'll review it there, and we'll move on to Batley and start speaking about them Tuesday night. So we get a head start on Thursday, Friday. So yeah, it's a big week for us. We've got some bumps and bruises and knocks. Obviously, Rocky carried a knock into the game with Benny, but they're fine. So we'll just look after the players and make sure we're ready to play.